Hi, this is Votan and I'm back. Today I would like to briefly talk about the joys of 3D stereograms. Now this is something that I've known about for quite a while and I used to look at it, but at first it was very difficult for me to look at the images because you have an image that just looks like a random pattern, and by staring at it in a certain way your brain decodes the 3D message that's hidden within it, and you see depth in the image and you start to see what's possible that you normally wouldn't be able to see. Like people that have only vision in one eye, or some people aren't able to see 3D pictures and movies and that kind of thing very easily. So I sort of feel lucky that I'm able to do that. Also, another reason why I like to do this is because it syncs the left brain and the right brain. I believe they call it the corpus callosum. Not sure about that. And there's also like a part of the brain that's activated that not only syncs them but also starts creating some sort of special communication pathway that leads to the right brain. And I've been doing a lot of right brain training, and this has sort of been my fun way of accessing that. Now, just by itself doesn't do anything, but when you see a 3D image that's done well, it evokes certain emotions like, wow, this is really cool, or wow, how did they do that? Sometimes I find myself trying to touch the image that is either popped out or receded, depending on the image. And even though I know it's just an illusion, it's just a lot of times just so real. Let me show you some of the books that I have so you can get an idea. Well, first I checked out a bunch of the books at the library. There was Magic Eye 1, 2, and 3, which I found really good. One was pretty easy. The second one was probably about medium difficulty, and the third one I would say was the hardest of the three, hardest to see the 3D, but still very cool nonetheless. Now I didn't buy that because I went to Barnes & Noble, and what they had in the bargain section was Magic Eye 3D Hidden Treasures. And this is a mix of different ones. But this is a pretty thick book. There's a lot of images in here. Let me just give you a sample. So you look at all these images. There's over 100 pages, over 120 pages of 3D images of varying skill levels and patterns and contents. Some of them are quite clever, and other ones, especially a lot in the beginning, I found to be a little bit disappointing. This one almost seems like a step back in terms of the Magic Eye 1, 2, and 3. Almost all the images there seemed professional, put together, well thought out, and a lot of these in here kind of felt like a rehash, and they were quickly put together. Some of them were pretty good. But overall, I wouldn't say this book was outstanding, but it makes up for that in the sheer amount of images that it has. So I'm glad I have it. There's some good ones in here. Now, another Magic Eye book that I got is called Beyond 3D, Improve Your Vision. I've always tried to improve my vision, but I thought this one would take a different spin, and it does. There are some images in here that are quite unique. However, this book also has a lot of text, so if you don't really want the text, you just want the images, you may be a little bit disappointed. Let me show you this one. You can see there's still a bunch of images, but you can see in the front also a lot of text too. I just find this one quite interesting and good for my collection, just because there are so many interesting images, and this one felt like they were trying to do something special with it. One interesting thing that I forgot to mention in this other book, this one, is the inclusion of a second conversion. So normally to do this, to be able to see these 3D images, you have to focus beyond the image, converge your eyes, and then the 3D image appears naturally or automatically. If you see the image and you continue to converge your eyes, then you will get, in most images, you'll get a doubling effect. And I've been doing that just for practice. I've gotten to the point where I can see these images almost instantly, maybe a second or two, depending on the time, but very, very quickly. And I can see it in the inverse, so I can converge by looking past it, or I can diverge my eyes, which means I can sort of cross my eyes, and the left and right eye information is swapped. So instead of it look like there's depth into the page, it looks like something is popping out. Now, it may not always be accurate. The picture may not be designed that way, but I do that for practice. But another thing I do is I converge my eyes twice. So you focus beyond the image, you see what is supposed to be there, and then you continue to look further into the distance, and then the image gets doubled, like I said. Now there's one image in here that is meant for that. So you actually see stars when you diverge, but something seemed a little bit strange. So on that one, I converged my eyes even further, and I got a whole new shape. And that's the first image I've ever seen that actually had that built in. I thought it was really cool. So yeah, this one is good too. Has many fewer images, but there's a lot of text telling you about how to improve your vision, and there's a lot of helper ways to see these images if you're having trouble, and practical techniques, and a variety of ways and exercises that you can do. Like one of the images is like a spiral. So you converge your eyes and you're looking at 3D depth, and you follow with your eyes kind of a spiral. So you're kind of stretching your vision that way. So that's, there are other ones in here as well. And the last one that I own is called God's Miracle Eye. And I saw this one on Amazon, and I just thought it was really cool. So it is 3D images of Bible stories. So they start out in the Old Testament, and they move all the way up to the New Testament. So they would have like Adam, the fall, David and Goliath, Jonah and the whale, the Last Supper, the Ascension, crucifixion, etc. And this I looked through and I was impressed. He was a little bit older and not made by Magic Eye, but still interesting nonetheless, and a lot of inspirational pictures. And I thought it had an interesting bent. Okay, kind of a quick flip through. Definitely recommend this. This one was only a couple dollars on Amazon, and it's nice because they have quotes that go with each of the images, so you can see how they were inspired to be created. And even if you don't, I thought this one was well made because even if you don't necessarily see the 3D images, there are, you can definitely tell that there are a lot of time that was put into each of the images, so even if you're just looking at them on the surface, they can still be appreciated for the artistic design and how they look. But I would definitely recommend looking at the 3D stereograms for developing the right brain, for developing sort of a balance between the left brain and the right brain, and getting the communication working, because as they say, you don't want one side working while the other side doesn't. You need both of them to work well, and that's what creates genius. If you just have one working, you get like an eccentric, but you need both of them to be working in succession. So practice that. Good for the right brain. It's also good just to practice it for your eye strength, looking at depth at various degrees, getting your mind to decode 3D images, I think is good practice for the brain. So, and it's, not to mention, it's a lot of fun. I like it a lot. So anyway, this was just a quick update to provoke some thought in regard to 3D images. They don't seem to be as popular as they used to, which is too bad, but a lot of these materials are still widely available. You can go online, you can find all sorts of free images if you like. I sort of like the print copies. I did get an app on my cell phone, and they just are too small. So let me know what you think. If you have a favorite book or a favorite image, and I may be getting more in the future if I find other good books, but leave any comments if you like, and I would just like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.